Hello everyone, here we are. Nice to see everybody. I am a little earlier, just a minute or two. Can everybody hear me? Let me know if there is any problems with the sound or anything else. Trying to figure out this technology. Hello everyone. So nice to see you. Super privileged to be here. Hello Arts Etobicoke, the friends and colleagues and fellow artists. Yeah, let me know. Please let me know if you can hear me well, because that's my only concern right now. Is it all good? All right. Okay, well, I'm gonna get started. Great. All right, so we hear each other. My name is Ola. My last name is Cichy, and that's why the studio called Cichy Art. That's how you pronounce my last name. I am a multidisciplinary artist. I will show you a little bit of what I do here at the studio, where the magic happens behind the doors. I paint. I do mostly portraits, but I also do other things, some abstracts and Neurographica. This is something probably new to you all, and I will be very privileged to explain what it is, Neurographica. So I think I'm just going to start this with my acrylics. I do work in acrylics a lot, and I'm just going to switch the camera now off to face my art and to show this is my table. So this one is my self-portrait right there. I love working with palette knives, so my works have a lot of texture. There is my December horse named Snow. I sold that one, so I'm actually packing this up and sending it to BC. And today, I don't have too many big works, luckily. I'm very grateful for that, because they do sell, and I'd rather have them sold than on my walls. This is one of my favorite works on a black canvas. I love working on black canvas. And I'll show you some of my white on black works a little bit more on paper also. That's one of my favorites. Here is this one too on black canvas. It's called The Other Side, with lots of texture. So my works are inspired by travels. I lived in 7 different countries. This is my tools. And some of my favorite tools. Here is one of my favorite tools, a really large palette knife. So usually, I paint portraits of people that I meet, or I just get inspired by emotions and just paint semi-abstract. This is one of my favorite works. It's on a loose canvas because it's getting shipped also. But that was my stage of purple and blues a couple of months ago. That I love these colors, and adding lots of different texture. And so this is fun to do, and this is my beautiful studio. I have a view of the lake in there. You can see the balcony, and then the skyscrapers. This is my little reading nook here on the floor with my favorite book. It's called The Artist's Way. If you haven't read, fellow artists, this is a must read. It's truly extraordinary. It has a program that expands your creativity. You would not be able not create after you read this book. Here's my guitar. I play guitar, and there is an Indian drum called Dol. This is one of my recent works. I called it Sunshine. It's inspired by Caribbean people. I lived in the Caribbean for 3 years, but I lived on a boat, so I couldn't paint big works like this. It's pretty large work, lots of texture. So I did sketches of people in charcoal, and then now I'm converting them into acrylics and more colorful works. This is all palette knife work. I did it on birchwood panel. The first time painting on birchwood panel. I love the texture. I don't know if you can see a little bit of a close-up here too. But yeah, birchwood is very interesting to paint on. And it's not as heavy as you would think. It's maybe a little bit heavier than a canvas would be of this size. So, and then I put some of my art on this table that I bought at a garage sale. And of course, the creative soul in me, I painted this table also with chalk paint. And here are some of my other works. There is the watercolors. This was from my trip to Nepal. I personally met this Sadhu Baba, had a tea conversation with him, took a photo, and then later did a watercolor portrait. I love this portrait. I think it's one of my best works, the emotion here. This was a Nepali goddess, also child goddess, that I also was very fortunate to see. It was a Russian babushka, of course, and some of my pencil and watercolor works of a boy. This one is more of a kind of contemporary watercolor. A portrait of my niece, Lucia. That was her birthday gift. I also do these sort of healing images that I love because I do a lot of art therapy, and I will explain about it a little bit later. There's this one. I do believe art is very, very healing. I see it, that I'm able to heal myself and help other people through my program. There's some different techniques that I was using, some black and white. So yeah, this is what it looks like. And here I got beautiful fresh flowers. This one is also watercolor and ink. It's a large work. Really nice. So I promised to show you my works on black paper. I love absolutely drawing. I know it doesn't reflect the light in the best way, but I'll try to. The camera doesn't focus really well on the black. The black looks kind of muted and gray. It looks much better in real life. Let me see if I can focus. So I use white pencil on black paper. Sometimes when the works are really nice, I do convert them into larger, later acrylic paintings, like I showed before, like this one. And it's a little bit different look and feel, but it is very precise, meditative work. There's another one, and this one. When you draw with white pencil on black paper, something happens to your mind because you basically have to think almost backwards. It's not something that we're used to. Usually the traditional drawings on white paper, let's say, it's where you're shading dark in the shadows and the light is white, where here it's basically you're doing the opposite. You leave the shadows alone and only the light that you highlight. So it's quite interesting exercise for the mind. It's like capturing light instead of shadow, and yeah, to work with something that is to give that translucent look. It's quite satisfying. This was a portrait of a Caribbean girl, again, and very sweet. I took a photo of her, then I turned it into a drawing. If you have any questions, please text. I do see your comments here, so I can answer your question. This was a boy in South America eating ice cream. I also took a picture of him, and that's how this one was born. Thank you. Beautiful. Thank you. This was my time in Nepal. I lived in a Tibetan Buddhist monastery for a month and worked there with monk boys, and then that was during the meditation. I also took a photo and later converted this to drawing. This one is one of my favorite works. This was a photo from the internet that I absolutely loved, just of an older person reading or something, and I used a pen and pencil. This one I called the Moonlight. Yeah, I wish the camera would show it a little bit better because it does look milky. It looks better in real life. There is some of this. I have a series also that is about love. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I hear you. You saying the compliments. This is just simple silhouette. Again, the silhouette. It's nice to do like some details in the light, to play with different textures. Thank you very much. This is a Russian series, a classic, the best Sherlock Holmes in the world. If anybody's Russian here, they would recognize this portrait right away. It's a cinema from the 70s, a film from the 70s in Russian that won the award for best Sherlock Holmes by the Queen Elizabeth. Here is my friend who loves her wine. Just a cup of tea and so on. So I have quite a collection of these works. I keep on working on them and just absolutely love working on a black background. Thank you very much. Thank you. So, and as I promised, I turned the camera for a little bit. As I promised, I wanted to explain to you a little bit about Neurographica, and I'll show you some works later. So this is a classic Neurographica image. So it's a fairly new form of art and therapy. I suppose it's a kind of cross between art and psychology, and I have a background in psychology, so I was super lucky to study in the Institute of Psychology of Creativity in St. Petersburg with the inventor of this method. His name is Pavel Piskaryov. He's a professor of philosophy, psychology, and an artist and an architect himself. So he's invented this incredible method of accessing subconscious mind through drawing. It was invented just 5 years ago. So the only instructors are trained in that school. Now it's expanded in the last couple of years into 50 different countries. They're introducing it to university programs and so on. So the method is developing very fast. But to become an instructor, I do believe the only school is still in Russian. So luckily I do speak the language. So I believe I am the only specialist of Neurographica in Toronto to this day. Or if I'm wrong, then there's very few of us here. But it's the images, when you'll see it on the internet, you'll recognize them instantly. I'm going to turn my camera again back to the, here we go. When I saw the images, I was like, oh, I love these. I'm like, what is this? And I want to know the artist. I started Googling it. It turned out it's not an artist. It's a method that is just very recognizable because you do follow certain patterns when you draw, and you will know that all the images look very organic, almost like cell division and so on. So how it works is through engaging your motor skills, your hand, and staying with your emotion and working through certain steps and algorithms that you follow. You activate your neurological pathways in your brain, and you're able to heal trauma, and you're able to do some coaching. So these images are very classical Neurographica exercises that I'm showing right now. And I would say that all Neurographica is neuroart, yet not all neuroart is Neurographica, because Neurographica is more therapeutic. So, and yeah, as I said, if you have any questions, please ask. This, sometimes Neurographica might look like that. That's more coaching, where you actually writing down different issues, emotions, problems, whatever it is that you're working with, and then you're connecting the things. You stay in this deep meditation with connecting all different thoughts in your mind, and to see a better picture, to see a clearer picture. And it works quite wonderful. And there is a rule that you don't stop working until you come to a certain resolution at the end of your work. So this one is also, it's called Neuro Tree. Is it upside down? Yeah, it's upside down. For some reason, I felt I wanted to draw on this crazy color. This, yes, this would look transcendent in VR. Yeah, I was thinking about that, and I'm going to talk about my digital art also. Thank you very much. Is it Karun? I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. Yes, and I do want to do it in projection mapping. Maybe this would be interesting. So, and this is neuro art. So it's not Neurographica. This is neuro art, which the difference is that you use the same sort of methods of art, of drawing, yet they're perhaps less therapeutic because you're working more on the image also side. So this was a work of me, kind of deep meditation of connecting with the divine in me. And what is important in neuro art or Neurographica, you always set an intention before work. This is also my kind of self, in a way, portrait in my own power and divinity, and so kind of meditating and growing and seeing yourself. This one was interesting. It was intuitive work, and it looks feels like indigenous art, unintentionally so. This one was my goddess Saraswati, the Indian goddess of art and music and philosophy, which I feel I love her very much. I did this in oil pastels, and then I smudge it with my finger. I love oil pastels smudged. They add this really nice effect. Oh, this is classical Neurographica too. And then there was this one. Somebody asked me to actually use this image for a tattoo. I was really surprised. So I don't know if they did a tattoo of that or not, but that was a baby. This was a bit of watercolor also. These are some semi-abstract neuro artworks also. All neuro art has an intention set before, and so you're working with psychological things. So this was also the chakras. This image, for some reason, had so many crazy likes and shares on, was it LinkedIn or something? I can't remember. But yeah, I drew it and feeling like my old personality is dying in a way, and it was kind of like a depression. It's a very difficult emotional state of mind that I drew it in, and I guess maybe it just conveyed the power of that emotion because it had so much feedback from people. And here's some clock. This one is one of my favorites. The lines, and that's also, again, this is oil pastels. Love this one. This one is was ink, colored ink. I called it hardcore, like heartcore, in the core of the heart. And you see, there's a couple in there. So yeah, as you can see, they are very recognizable images, yet every artist has its own style when they start working, because our mind is different, the colors are different. What makes it that similar look is that how the lines are blended in, and it always Neurographica always looks very organic when it's finished. And for some reason also the way it works with the brain, with that method of therapy, is that your mind is gonna love your own artwork. So it's not objectively, it might be not a masterpiece, but your brain is gonna absolutely love it, because you paint it from a very different place. You paint it very intuitively, and you're round, and you're creating this balance, following all these steps, that your brain is just gonna absolutely fall in love with this. This one was a trauma I was working on. I was assaulted when I was a child, so it was a very therapeutically deep. Yeah, this was a hard work for me to do, but I did feel how effective this method is in terms of therapy, because I do know quite a bit of therapy. Thank you very much. Your art is very beautiful. Thank you, Verena. It's very sweet. So here is some gray, some things like that. So I have albums and albums of this stuff as I work myself, and I also do have clients. I work with people. This work, for example, I kind of combined a portrait and watercolor and ink and that Neurographica approach. So I started just experimenting with my own creativity. So there is that. Thank you very much. Thank you. There were some questions that I was supposed to answer here. What was it? Let me see. And if you want to ask me any questions about Neurographica or whatever, I'm open to to answer, and I do see everything you write here. But I will answer the questions that I was sent. What people don't know about me. Oh, that's an interesting one. I love old cinema from the 70s. That's what people don't know about me. I am obsessed with Russian cinema of the 70s because it was created not for money, and there's just so many films that were art piece. You can pause it in any moment, and the scene is gonna be just like magnificent art. So I can watch those movies over and over, just for pure pleasure, even though I know the story so well. What do I do when I don't paint? I play guitar, I sing, I do write. I've written a few stories, and then I love nature and anything to do with nature. What was the most meaningful art experience? From the most recent ones, just like a couple of weeks ago, I illustrated a book of a 10-year-old boy who went to Galapagos with his family and got stuck there because of COVID for 4 months. So he wrote a story about a snake, and it was his dream to have a book. And so I was super, super, super happy when they asked me to illustrate it, because I was like, wow, and now his dream came true. So now he's selling that book, trying to make money for Christmas for his less fortunate friends. And yeah, it's really nice. Thank you very much. Yeah. So that was my very, very meaningful experience for sure. What else is here? Oh, why is it important, the community of arts? I believe arts bond us, and the therapeutic effects, I do believe music or any self-expression is incredible. Yes, I would share that book. Yeah, I will, if I could find how to pin it. Yeah, I would love to find that book. Let me see if I can pull it up. But yeah, I will share it on my Instagram account, and it will be there, and it has a link to Amazon if you wanted to buy it, or just share that post with others. That would be really good to support that boy. That would be so sweet to make his dreams come true. Be very good. And also, I think art is international language, because I've been an immigrant. I'm an immigrant to Canada. I came here originally from Russia 20 years ago, but I lived in 7 different countries. I had to learn 3 different languages besides my own, so I know what it's like to be a foreigner. And I know, of course, our international community in Etobicoke and Toronto and GTA, so many people from different places, and having that language barrier, that cultural barrier. But I believe arts, that's what unites us. I don't have to speak the language perfectly to show my soul, and through my art, through the images, through music, because that's international language where no words are needed. So that's my take on it. And one last thing I wanted to show today is digital art. This is something, so I'm going to switch my camera back in. So this is something that I've been doing. Most of the magic nowadays happens in this table. And this is my tablet. I've been resisting digital arts for so long as a traditional artist. Absolutely, I was like, no, I can't paint with a mouse, nothing. But this tablet has been kind of a transition for me, because as is the illustration I'm doing for a book now, also a story, because you can paint with a finger, and I use Procreate. I have also other things like Adobe Draw and other programs, but this one is my favorite so far, because it has huge settings with different brushes, different things that you can create. The amazing. And I use my fingers, so it gives me that tactile feeling of still being engaged in the art process very much. And also there is a pen like that you can use for drawing, so I do that also. So digital, they do have their own charm. It's really great for practicing, because you can undo something. You don't like it, you can really undo things. This is my Marilyn Monroe recent. I've painted her so many times in different media. What did I want else to show? This is my latest project. That's what I'm working on right now. It's a projection mapping installation in city of Cambridge, in town of Cambridge, and it's a building. It's an old library there downtown in the square, that the images are going to be projecting, basically converting the building into different things. And I'm just doing this for different architecture. That's going to be Egypt and some other things. So that's kind of a fun project. There's this one that I'm also it's a children's book about farts. Educational book, you never know where your artistic career takes you. So yeah, that's been, if some of you haven't tried digital art and have the same resistance as me, I think tablet is a good place to start. It might work also. So I think there's that, and it's been 30 minutes. So if you have any questions, please ask me about you can send me a personal message and follow me. I did pin my page. I'm gonna pin another page also that is just for Neurographica. Let me see. Neuro Arts. It's at Neuro Art Garden. I just created it recently. Neuro Art Garden. This is me. Then I'm just gonna. Did it go? Yeah, and I'm gonna pin it. Pinned it. Where can we buy your art? Thank you very much for asking. You can buy it. Best to contact me personally. I do have a website also, but yeah, since I live in Toronto, it's best to just text me on to my Instagram or Facebook, any of those things, and we can have a phone conversation. I do ship my art also to different countries or within Canada, or I can bring it to you. Or in digital format. So yeah, but yeah, so far it's just good to contact me personally. I'm gonna put it here. Okay. And then I was supposed to so I pinned it too. All right, here we go. So very good. So now I'm not sure, Ian, am I supposed to be talking about my object of cultural significance? Thank you so much for Farina. Yeah, thank you for sharing your art and inspiring me. That's yeah. Thank you very much for saying that. I'm happy. Feel very privileged to be here and share my studio, and look how sunny it is now. It's just so beautiful. Just such a perfect space to create. All right, so I'm not sure. I thought Ian was supposed to join me here. Ian, are you there to join me, or am I supposed to show my object of cultural significance by myself? Okay, here you go. There he is. He's coming. We're waiting.
Hello, Ola.
Hi, Ian. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you doing?
Good. Nice to see you.
You too. Thank you so much for sharing your studio today.
Thank you very much for inviting me, for having me here.
I just wanted to jump in and give a quick introduction to a new initiative that we're doing. It's our Etobicoke Creates. So what we're doing is we're inviting members of our community to submit photos of objects that have cultural significance to them. And this is just so we can learn more about our community, find out what is meaningful to our community, and just what people enjoy and what people value culturally. So we're asking people to submit photos of these objects and post them to Instagram or Facebook with the hashtag Etobicoke Creates. You can also email them directly to me. My email is ian@artsetobicoke.com. And I understand you have an object today that you'd like to share with us?
I do.
So I'll jump off now and I'll let you introduce that yourself.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right, great. I'm waiting to see the collection of other people's objects too. Very interesting. Mhm.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. All right, so then my object, I was considering wearing it because it's a piece of clothing. It's like this. That's what it looks like. It's called Тельняшка, and this is probably one of the most Russian objects you would find. My background, I was born in Russia. So it's a garment. It could be undergarment or like a sweater with very, very thick and very nicely done. That's been around in Russian culture for over a century. During the Tsar's times, it was the Navy and the Marines and the sailors would wear it as their uniform. And then even after the revolution, the Soviets kept it. So it became a sign of kind of like, yeah, basically anybody who sails, any sailor would wear this, or anybody, if you see a man wearing this, it's 90% that they're going to be Russian. It's just such a cultural thing. For us, Tельняшка, it's really warm. And it is very significant to me because I'm a sailor myself. I lived on a boat for 3 years. I even survived 2 major hurricanes at sea in the Caribbean, Irma and Maria, a couple of years ago. So, and I would never go anywhere without this. I have a few of them, different ones, thinner, thicker, and so on. So thank you for the necklace. Yeah, my necklace is really nice. That's from Caribbean also. Yeah, but this is a Russian item that it makes me feel like I'm a sea wolf and still connected to my Russian roots. And I'm grateful to have it. This one was actually bought in Russia and brought from Russia. I've had it for a while now, so I'm very happy and to have that, and also excited to see other people's objects. So good. Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Well, I guess this was it. This was the end of my tour. Thank you very much for being here and listening to my story. Super happy to share my art and super excited to be part of this community and see your creations also. Yeah, this is my first time doing it live, and then we'll continue to be in touch. So it's very good. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. So good. So this is it. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye.